Welcome to the Intern Whisperer Live, the show all about the future of work. Reminder listeners, you can call us live on the air. The phone number is 407-582-2906. You can also chat with us online through Intern Pursuit's Facebook Live chat.
Coming up in this episode of the Intern Whisperer Live, looking for internships? Sign up with Intern Whisperer or Intern Pursuit at www.internpursuit.tech. Our show tonight is our wildcard conversation about the future of VR. What will it look like for the sectors?
Okay, so the sectors word threw me off there because there's something missing.
Not quite sure what that means, but you know.
That's okay. So just so you know, we'll have to make sure that we don't say that. Okay, so social. How can people find us on our social channels? You can find Intern Pursuit on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can find Intern Pursuit's website, the game website, at internpursuit.games. And you can also follow the game on Twitter and on Facebook. Oh, and I just have to give a special shout out ahead of time for our internpursuit.tech website because I'm going to name all of the graphic designers. So Ronnie, Morgan, Teresa, Brian, Caitlin, and Luke, they all worked on the site. It looks amazing, and there's just a few pages to get published. So thank you for making Intern Pursuit look great on the new website. Okay, so you can also listen to us live on Valencia College Radio and watch us live on Facebook, like right now, people. And you can call us at 407-582-2906 and chat with us online through Intern Pursuit's Facebook Live chat. Darius?
Orlando Devs is a non-profit organization. Excuse me. Orlando Devs is a non-profit organization made up of a community of software developers in Orlando. Whether you love writing code or are just getting started, you're welcome to check out Orlando Devs Meetup to connect with software and IT professionals. The website is www.orlandodevs.com. Thank you, Orlando Devs, for being a patron of the Intern Whisperer.
So we want to thank Elijah Sutton for creating that music that opens our show, transitions our show, and closes our show out. So it's really light and happy and bubbly. All right, so Intern Pursuit Spotlight News. So students, if you are looking for an internship with one of our great employers or with Intern Pursuit, go to internpursuit.tech and be sure to sign up and create your profile. Employers of all types and sizes are invited to be part of our early adopter beta and take advantage of special pricing through the end of this year. You can contact us at info@internpursuit.tech for more information. And if you want to play our game, go to internpursuit.games to check it out. All right, so tonight is push the button again and we're replaying. We're going to be talking about everything that's in the world of artificial intelligence, perhaps virtual reality, simulation. It's going to be an organic kind of conversation, but we have some special topics. And this is to celebrate the fact that next week at the Convention Center, we go down to learn about ITSEC, the latest in training and simulation that the government has, that the education and healthcare sectors have, and so it's really pretty amazing. So we're just celebrating the fact that that's going to be going on. So we're going to look at, in this first segment, artificial intelligence and robots. Anybody have any thoughts about robots? What do you think they're going to take over the world? Been watching Terminator too long? I don't know what.
I think robots could be a great portion of our future. One drawback I have towards robots though is, as intelligent as we can make them, as many capabilities we can give them, I don't know if, like, okay, so say the whole AI thing about having, the one gentleman we had on here said he had an assistant that was AI. He had the AI assistant thing. I don't know if robots can ever adapt to emotion.
James
with the beard and Yeah, I don't know if robots can ever adapt to emotion. So that's something that humans,
We're going to talk about that.
yeah, I think that's a step up we will always have on the whole robots thing, or that'll always be a drawback. I don't know if they can adapt to emotion and understand emotion.
Yeah, like an evolution,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So
Yeah. What do you guys think? You have an opinion?
I mean, I think that just AI specifically could be like the best thing that ever happens to us, and maybe even the worst thing. So
Yeah.
only time will tell.
Yeah.
If we are gonna have, what is this? Not everybody has a frog in their throat. Like it just went
cold
around the
out
room.
there.
Like what?
Exactly.
What is going on? I was fine before I came in here. It's really y'all. I just want to put that out there. So I think if we do have robots, I would like helpful robots. Only the good robots. Robots that help us with our efficiency and productivity, making
You want
things
one
go
to
faster.
cook for you?
That'd be great. Or cook for everybody. How about a cook in every restaurant? A robot
yeah.
cook.
That is the actually. I read quite a bit about how fast food will be more automated in that area. They'll
Yes.
be able
Oh,
to have
yeah,
it. All,
for sure.
There won't be a person there.
Have you been to McDonald's lately? They have a like a screen, a couple screens in there for you to just put your order in.
Oh, yeah,
Even though they
that's like
still have
2
people at the
years ago.
counter. Right. That's not even that new, but
Yeah.
yeah.
even for me, being at Publix, I work in produce, but up at the cash registers, they have the self checkout. So I think cashiers are slowly. You
Well,
may
that's
not
at
even
Walmart,
see
too.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just introduced that, I think. At Publix,
Yeah, that's
right?
yeah, that's fairly new to
That's
us.
new for public. Yeah. That's okay.
I think
Yeah.
they're trying to get rid of us.
Well,
Something's going
no,
on.
I don't think they can because there's this place, and I think it was James that was saying that yes, there's a place that yes they will be there, but what will become, I think, the unique, and I agree with James when he said that, is that the human interaction is what people will want more than being able to work with the robots.
Right.
Because this is what we're built for. We're made for relationships with each other. We're not made for relationships with a robot. That's just a machine that makes something better. But here, Science Daily. I pulled some of our topics that we're going to talk about tonight from Science Daily. And this is an amazing website. So if anybody's looking for it, go look for Science Daily. I don't know if it's .com, but nonetheless, check it out. So since 2001, A Space Odyssey, people have wondered what could machines look like, how. Now, I have never seen 2001, so I'm going to have to admit that one. But I know the iconic segment, that little clip that they take where the computer is talking to the human, and the computer has actually taken over, the spaceship and saying, no, I'm sorry, that isn't going to be what happens. And it's a little bit frightening and scary, I know that from that clip. But researchers say that true human-level intelligence remains a long way off. So, Darius, you can rest assured.
Yeah.
There's like the human intelligence side of it, it's not there. We call it intelligent just because of the way it's been programmed. But the new article explores how computers could begin to evolve in learning the same way as a natural organism does, with many implications, including artificial intelligence. So this was researchers at Michigan State University, which, by the way, is a really good university for computer science. And it said that human level intelligence, while it's a long way off in their article, they said that it is possible that computers could begin to evolve and learn. So that's interesting to me. I'm not sure, like, how does that do that? But one of the software developers down at the office at Starter Studio, they told me that there's new programs, platforms that you can. I don't understand it because I'm not a programmer, but they actually can go and drop it in there, and it replicates the code. So it's like, this was the closest thing that I asked. I said, well, is it like, when you get new cells, you slough off old cells and you're getting new cells in your body? He said, yeah, it's kind of like that. So that it's actually saying, okay, this was your code and you need it to replicate, so it starts creating it and can code it faster than a person can. Wow. And so I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary too. So they're finding ways to, I guess I'll call it like Frankenstein some of this stuff together so that it begins to learn from itself, is what I believe that they're doing. But continuing here with what the research says is understanding how learning behavior evolves helps us to figure out how it works and to provide insights into other fields such as neuroscience, education, psychology, animal behavior, and even AI. And do you guys know when scientists went and cloned a sheep and they made an exact replica of that? Did you guys? I don't think you guys
I
were
think I
born.
might have heard of that like years ago, but it like
Yeah.
died
It was
almost
in the
immediately
80s.
or something.
Yeah, well, not immediately.
Wow,
but
I have to
it
look
Like,
this up.
like it didn't live very long,
Yeah.
from what I like understand.
Yeah, I mean, it grew into looking more like an adult, not a baby lamb.
Oh.
but-
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
Yeah, but they it's like taking you and making a clone exactly of Sydney,
Right.
and then you don't know which one is the real one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's there, and they've done that, and they've been able to do transplants of like face transplants, right? And people still have another face. So if you think about all of the things you've seen in science fiction, I think that's really where our ideas come from. Is like some people are out there going, well, let's make it do this, and then stuff happens. We can do face transplants. We can clone things. We can create, edible foods out of garbage, essentially. That's like really how things work here. But it is really amazing. So the inspiration that they said was the way that animals learn. That's a landmark, and they would use them to navigate their environments. So, for example, the laboratory experiments, honeybees would learn to associate certain colors or shapes with directions and navigate complex mazes. And then the evolution of learning cannot be observed through fossils. So anything that's dead, no. But the living is what is being replicated. And I think it's pretty amazing. So I think I talked about this too when James was here about the plant and how the plant could find water. Do you guys read any of these kind of things about science, the latest things that are out there?
I mean, every now and then, honestly, I need to read more.
We all do,
I
right?
seriously need
Right.
to read more, but every now and then I'll like see an article that like is interesting enough to like read through. But yeah, no, I'm pretty misinformed on.
Yeah,
most
I don't
things,
think
yeah.
you're alone. I mean, I've started doing this now because I realize that I'm living in the present and I need to look to the future so I can be prepared for it. And I really think that we should pay attention by, like this publication here, Science Daily, to be able to know what is it that's going on.
Absolutely.
They're pretty easy to read articles. I have something for you guys later. It's all about video. So we'll talk about that too. But I agree with Sydney about having friendly robots. I don't want to see Terminator robots.
Yeah, no.
Those are terrifying. That's like The Purge.
Yes, very much so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's scary.
So anyway, let me just look over my notes here to make sure if there was something else that I wanted to mention about it. So it said that in the beginning of the simulation, the organisms were like blank slates, incapable of sensing, moving, or learning. And every time an organism was reproduced, its descendants would suffer mutations that changed their behavior. So most mutations were lethal. Some did nothing, but the rare traits that allowed an organism to better follow the trail resulted in the organism collecting more resources, reproducing more often, and thus gaining share in the population. So that's just talking about like how mutations can happen in a living, breathing organism, but they're also putting that together in this article about how that is something that they've seen with code. So it's possible, and they're trying to figure out how to do that. And I think that the thing, and this is where I agree with Darius too, is like we have to pay attention to the power that we have because we're creating our future. We can either kill ourselves with what we're doing, or we can, help our planet and help us to be able to live here well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many of you think that there's life in other planets?
Oh, definitely.
I'm not.
But like, do
I
you
don't
think
know.
they're here on this
Here,
Earth?
that I don't know about that, but
I think it's
thinking
like
of how
Men in
like
Black.
large the universe is for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like Men in Black, when they say, "Oh yeah, they're here." That's what.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
It's probably what
knows?
Donald Trump is. So, what do you think, Darius?
I don't believe there is, but if I was to find out there was, I could see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit here and say I believe on Mars there's life existing, or maybe outside of this universe there's life existing. But if that were to be proven, I could. It wouldn't take much to prove that to me if they had enough information and facts behind that, evidence to support that. It wouldn't take much because it's. Go ahead.
No, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but they found bacteria on another planet. That's technically an alien.
That
Not
is.
super exciting,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
life as complex as
What?
a human life is.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Or what we
like intelligent life.
Yeah.
intelligent life.
yeah.
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 How about you, Sydney?
I don't think there is people on other planets.
Or there's some type of life on other planets, like
Life could
like
be
what we think of
animals.
as like us.
Life can be animals, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Then possibly. Yeah. I mean, with everything that's in the sea,
Exactly.
there's so
right?
many microorganisms and things you don't think are real that are actually living. So I can see those type of organisms on the different planets. Yeah, but as far as people who can like walk and talk,
or
you know, I
beings,
don't
not
think so.
necessarily people. It could be a being, right? It doesn't have to look like us. Star
yeah, I don't
Wars,
know
Star
about that. I'd
Trek.
have to see it. I'd have to
And
see it the way.
I mean, like, I don't know. The universe is so large. I mean, like, another being could be the size of a planet, you know, in relation to us, or maybe
Or
like
here's a who.
microscopic. You know?
True.
So who knows? Like, what do we know?
Yeah, I
No,
think to
nothing.
go off what Sydney said, there's parts of this planet we've never even touched or come close to touching, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think it'll definitely be a good minute until we do possibly find something that could be
A minute, a
extraterrestrial.
good minute.
A good minute. That's a long
Good
time.
That's my dad's New Yorker side coming out of me right there.
A good minute.
Good minute.
So that's pretty funny. Okay, so I hope you guys were prepared for the video production industries one. I picked that one for you guys.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead, share the notes. We'll let you two kind of lead off. It's okay if you have to read from them. So it's
Okay,
fine.
you want me to read from
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
I'll just start with the beginning. All right. So, a global team of computer scientists have developed Write a Video, a new tool that generates videos from themed text. Using words and text editing, the tool automatically determines which scenes or shots are chosen from a repository to illustrate the desired storyline. So, basically, you're using like kind of a simple artificial intelligence tool to just easily make like home videos for yourself, easily just by typing something. So if you have like a collection of videos that you took and you want to make a scary movie, you type in scary movie and it'll somehow be able to
It
take all of
sorts and
that.
searches everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like way more advanced than that, but from what I was reading, it's basically it just simplifies that process, which is pretty cool for people that don't like maybe have the time. I mean, most people aren't going to create a scary movie. I'd probably put like family, you know, movie or something, you know, but
Are you kidding? I have seen more people produce scary movies than anything.
True, yeah.
I think that's what everybody goes to film school. Don't tell me that's what you're going to do.
That's horror is my favorite
See?
genre. I mean,
Right there.
I mean, it is fun, yeah. But
Yeah.
But
yeah.
even then, that's kind of what I said in the beginning. I don't know if AI has emotion to where it could achieve something like this. So I don't know if this is already in existence.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
it is.
so maybe I'm just unaware. But so to go off what you said, maybe
Yeah.
like a horror movie, like girl hears something in the basement.
Right.
The logical thing to do would be to turn around and go the other way. Or maybe to a computer it would be to open the door, check it out.
Right.
But it doesn't understand emotion to where that scares me. So I'm gonna go the other way or something
Right.
like that.
I mean, this is just like a starting point. This is a simple tool. And the thing with AI is you have to feed it information and it can start like kind of thinking with the information that you give it. Now, as opposed to a human where like we take in information, we kind of forget, we
Yeah.
prioritize information. AI can just access it however it wants. It's permanent. Like it's way more efficient with the information it has than us. So as those things like as the tools advance,
Yeah.
they'll be way better at doing whatever job you give it than any human being. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing, in the beginning, but by the end, it's what do we do when an AI can do literally everyone's job? People
Exactly.
start like the majority of the society has no value really to give to, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what they have predicted is that the jobs that we know today, that I think it's 73% of them are going to be gone. So it's going to be a different type of job that we move into. So it's going to be things that we actually think of that are going to reflect our creativity and our ability to really think beyond what we used to do. You know, we don't need to have somebody like the garbage, okay? The garbage truck with autonomous driving cars would be able to come down the street, pick up the trash, because now the trash guys don't get out. They have a machine that picks it up and throws it in there. But the difference is okay, and I think I said this on one of the shows, is like, well, you know, people put bodies in trash. They put stuff in there. And unless there's a sensor in that trash to say, hey, you know, there was some kind of biometric it's picking up that there was human or some kind of animal or something in there, how are they going to know? Because you could have somebody that's like still alive in a trash
That's
truck.
true.
I mean,
No lie there.
just the other day, I was at Sebastian's buddy's house, the other video guy, and
Our guest, our previous
yes,
guest.
he this
SIBOs.
Yes, SIBOs.
I walk in this guy's house and there's literally a machine going around his house cleaning the floor. And maybe I've been in the cave. I've never
You
seen.
Yes,
that,
you
dude.
have been in
Those
the
are on
cave. That's a
TV.
thing.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
that has been a thing for a
I'm a
while.
Netflix guy.
But that's
I
okay.
but this thing
Got to
is.
get
it's
him
fine.
reading more.
Yeah, it's
I mean, this thing is dodging chairs and dodging objects like
Yeah.
it has eyes or something, and it's cleaning his entire floor. And I'm just like,
They have one that actually sweeps, and now they've got another one that goes and mops the floor.
Oof,
that's crazy.
I put it
And
like
then
that.
it goes and docks itself when it's finished.
Yeah,
I gotta look that
Yeah,
up.
We've got to get you out more.
we've got to.
Like,
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna look that up.
You're totally right about like how us humans think completely differently than these like AI tools. But the thing is, if you were to feed, and this is what will eventually happen. I mean, scientists dealing with AI know this is eventually when they have all the information that we've collected, just as the human race, all this information, they can take all of that and just basically advance way beyond anything that we could have ever possibly like achieved. So
That's true.
I don't know. It's scary, but it's cool. It's very cool, but it's scary
It
at
is,
the same time.
because we really are in control of our destiny. And but just so you know, this is a team of global scientists from China, from Harvard University, and also it says in Israel. So this is stuff that's going on around you, and it actually impacts the job, the future that you're saying that you want to have for yourself. So you really should be, I would think, especially since you're going to go into film, be paying attention to the things that are futuristic. I think that would be more advantageous for you as a career path than horror movies. I'm just going to plant that little seed.
What may be more advantageous for you?
Science fiction. He's going to think about it.
You have to be interested. You know, you have
I would
to really
have
care.
to make myself interested.
Yes.
Like, horror is a natural niche for me. I naturally go there I don't know much about
Well,
science fiction.
when it comes to art, I would.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
I've never seen a single Star
Oh my
Wars
God!
movie.
He's like, you're right. He is not from this world.
But yeah, I hope you're right when you said earlier that hopefully people want to like really, I don't know, either do business or really work with other people, right, over just some artificial intelligence. But I'd say maybe the one thing that an artificial intelligence may not be able to replicate is like maybe the creative, like, you know, things, because it's not so analytical, you know, it's not just information.
Anything
But-
can be programmed, but it's people that program it. But it's the place where, when is it no longer the person that's programming it, it becomes the computer that's programming something.
Yeah.
And that's what they're really talking about in
Yeah.
that other article, is the fact that, is there this place, and I believe it's true. I believe any of that stuff can be true, because if a human can think of it, then yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
So
Nobody said they could fly, and we have planes now, right?
just as a question towards you, Hernando, if you had a company, would you, in a sense, hire a machine that could do your job or that knew more about your job than you did? If you're at the
Wouldn't
top
hire
of the
them,
company.
buy 'em.
Well, yes,
Hire,
because
in
I
a sense.
wouldn't have to feed it, I wouldn't have to pay it, I just have to buy it once and boom. Like,
Knowing
it
it's capable
it
of
does
more
the
than
job
you.
way better than any human being possibly could. Yeah, I mean,
They'll break. They will break. You know, it's just like
Maybe.
anything. A machine.
Maybe.
Sure. Why? It's like it's got.
I mean,
parts.
I don't know what the computer's going to be like. You know,
People
10
die,
years
so why
from
couldn't a
now.
machine break? Cars
Yeah.
break. Everything breaks.
It's possible. Although they have healing technology now,
That is true.
which is like, yeah.
That's true.
So who knows, honestly.
That is
Who
very,
knows?
very true.
That's
Where are we? How are we doing on our time? So that really takes us into our second patron announcement.
Starter Studio is a pioneering hub for innovative and tech-enabled entrepreneurs that empowers and provides resources for entrepreneurs, creatives, and innovators to, I'm pretty sure I just went over that, grow and flourish in Central Florida. They offer open community educational programs, accelerators, funding, and collaborative workspaces. Starter Studio fosters a community serving as a platform for the ideas of the future. Their website is www.starterstudio.org. Thank you, Starter Studio, for being a patron of the Intern Whisperer Live.
Okay, so Starter Studio, saying that fast, I don't know, like 3 times, it's hard, isn't it, Hernando?
It is Starter Studio. Starter Studio.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. So you have to say that really, really slowly. So, Sydney, let's learn about artificial skin.
All right. Was
She's
that loud
bringing
enough
it.
for y'all?
She's got her,
Okay,
her
and we're
UCF
reading.
voice going on.
Okay. All right. So this section we're talking about is artificial skin. First of all, let me do a thing first. Okay. So just like our senses of hearing and vision, our sense of touch plays an important role in how we perceive and interact with the world around us. And teaching, and technology capable of replicating our sense of touch, also known as haptic feedback, can greatly enhance human computer and human robot interfaces for applications such as medical rehabilitation and virtual reality.
So let's just take a pause on that. There was some like technical words in there that we may not have had, like the one that was haptic. Yes, haptic feedback. So what they've done is, because we were talking about can they feel, can they touch, so they've got this artificial skin so that it can actually, it can grow, it can, take over on your skin, but it allows the person to feel. So that's pretty freaky there too, but let's continue the learning process here. So Sydney, go ahead and continue. I love hearing you read.
Scientists at EPFL's can I get this word? Let's find out. Reconfigurable.
Very good.
Okay, robotics lab, or RRL, headed by Jamie Palk, and Laboratory for Soft Bioelectronic Interfaces, LSBI, headed by Stephanie LaCour at the School of Engineering, have teamed up to develop a soft, flexible, artificial skin made of silicone and electrodes. Both labs are part of the NCCR robotics program. The skin system of soft sensors and actuators enable the artificial skin to conform to the exact shape of the wearer's wrist, for example, and provide haptic feedback in the form of pressure and vibration. Strain sensors continuously measure the skin's deformation so that the haptic feedback can be adjusted in real time to produce a sense of touch that's as realistic as possible. The scientist's work has just been published in Soft Robotics.
So stop there. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that is really amazing. One of the things, I have a friend, David Hunter, who was a guest on the show in season 1, and he had a technology that he invested in that was for water. And the water was one that had some type of special molecular process done to it so that when you drank it, it would actually heal you from the inside. Then there was something else that he had invested in, and it was this patch that looked like it was a Band-Aid, but it looked like water, and they could put it on you, and they actually use it in the military, where it actually helps to, like if you have a piece of, there you go, a chunk of skin taken out, like in the military, if you were in some type of an explosion, it would actually be put inside of that, and it would help the body to actually grow the skin back out so it'd be the right size. It doesn't leave like this big mark, and it looks like water. So it was very, very pliable, very soluble, and had a lot of healing antibiotics and things that were in it. And so there's like crazy stuff going on out there, and if we just take a time to just like pay attention, read some of these articles, stay on top of what's going on, and visit the world of sci-fi. I'm looking at over here at Darius that you could see, well, anything's possible, and what could be coming down the line for us as jobs, as the ways we communicate with each other. But I don't think it's anything we have to be afraid of. But it is amazing. Artificial skin that actually will help somebody have sensations, because, like people that have diabetes, that it can kill their nerve endings and they won't be able to feel things.
Right.
But there's other things that can actually cause that nerve to die. That's what they're trying to solve, is so that people can actually sense things and feel things, and be able to see and hear when they couldn't see and hear before. So it's truly amazing. Okay, so I'm going to finish here. It says, this is the first time we've developed an entirely soft artificial skin where both the sensors and the actuators are integrated. This gives us a closed loop control, meaning that everything is, they know what's going on. There's nothing that's left for chance. And they can accurately and reliably modulate the vibratory stimulation felt by the user. And so I think that that's really encouraging for people that couldn't feel something before, like people that may have lost a leg or had something happen. Nerve damage is a really good example of that. And the artificial skin can be stretched up to 4 times
Wow.
its original length for up to 1 million cycles. And that makes it particularly attractive for a number of real-world applications, because right now they use skin from cadavers. So if you die, you can donate your skin and then somebody else can have it. But this is something that can replace that. You don't have to have, a cadaver that's either giving you organs or skin, and skin is an organ. So there's ways that they are looking to make that change.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So cancer and virtual reality solutions. So you're the only one that hasn't done it. Okay. It's up.
So using virtual cloud-based interconnected computing techniques applied to 51,000 variables, researchers reduced the time needed to assess a cancer patient's tumor profile and suitably for clinical trials from 14 to 4 days. This method also increased twofold over a 4-year period the number of cases that could be assessed compared to conventional methods.
Okay, so take a pause there. So
Wow.
did you guys realize really the strength of this is that they're able to detect cancer so much more quickly than they could before. It's just amazing. And then there's also, this is totally, I don't know if it's really science, but they have animals that they'll put in nursing homes, like cats and dogs, that because they can sense if somebody is sick. Because if you can train a dog to find bombs and things like that, they can also sense a cancer or if somebody has something that's wrong with them.
Yeah,
And that's why you have therapy dogs too. Like if somebody's going to have an epileptic seizure, they can sense that about the person and warn people around that person.
Yeah, the dogs can sense your
Cats do it.
your vibrations, if that's even a thing. But,
They do, yeah. And I read an article about how a cat, and this would not be, it's like the face of death. The cat knew when somebody was about to die. It was in a hospice center, and the cat would go lay next to the person, so that the person wasn't going to be by themselves.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Cats are
animals are just as sensitive, and I use that as the example because it is not a computer. It is not something that's artificial intelligence. It is a real living, breathing being. And I don't think that we're going to be eliminated. We would only be eliminating ourselves is how I look at it.
Yeah.
And there are people that would do that, because you can look at Hitler, who wanted to annihilate all of the Jewish population, and anybody that wasn't what he thought was fit. So it's possible.
And also, the big danger is just it destroying us. Like, just, it doesn't even matter. Like, maybe people had bad intentions, but they make the wrong mistake and it's too late. AI just takes over, like basically Terminator style. Except worse, probably. 'Cause that was an 80s movie. Yeah.
So what's the next thing that it was telling us here, Darius?
Okay, so a conventional tumor board is comprised of oncologists, pathologists, and patient advocates, among others. They meet in person to review cancer gene sequencing reports to determine if a patient's tumor has gene alterations that point to drugs that could act against those alterations. This approach is burdensome and typically does not allow tumor board review for all cases.
So there's some pushback over there.
Right.
Some people are going yes, some people are going no. So it's always going to happen that way, where whatever the latest thing is, people will say, yeah, we should do that, and then others will say no. And if you think about like animal testing with like makeup, right? They were testing that on animals, and they were burning out the retinas of animals, right? But now there's been this whole movement to get away from doing any harm to creatures like that, because
Right.
you don't have to hurt something to be able to tell, that's bad. If you're putting poison on something, you don't have to hurt a mouse or whatever. But there's a reason why they do that, because their gene system is similar in how it can replicate, like how humans also do. So that's why they do it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be done that way, because they can find healthier ways to study these things. So for cancer, they use a lot of animals to test things out. And I think that's important to realize. And there's this place where AI, maybe it can go and take the place of animals being harmed in the testing, and they can actually be able to see, hey, can we tell that there's really cancer in this person by doing a scan? There's a house out in Medical City. It's called the Witt House, WHITT, and it's the house of the future. And when you go in there, have you guys heard of it?
No.
So if you go out to Medical City, out there, and you look for Witt House, WHITT, you'll see that this house, when they give you a tour, the restroom, if you go in there, the shower, it has a keratoid shower head that you can put on, and so it just bathes you in healthy vitamins and also keratoids that are also there to take away anything that's cancerous. The toilet was set up that if you whenever you use the toilet, it could actually tell if you had any problems with your urine or your bowels. So it could tell if you need to go to the doctor. The toothbrush that they had in there could tell you if you had cavities. So there's like stuff that's going on that I don't think everybody knows about. And again, it's like, read this stuff. Be aware of what's going on in the world around us, because it will happen, and we will hear about it. And you're not going to be finding out about Roomba. That was like 5 years ago or 7 years ago.
Well, they got more advanced stuff.
Yeah.
No, one thing for me is the price tags they put on some of this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things that, the average person could use to better their lives, their health, and things like that, but we just don't have access to because no one has that kind of money,
That's true. The rich people do get stuff first.
But there is a place where the price drops tremendously, and then it becomes something that's very common. So, like, think about your phones, right? Think about the first phones, the giant things in the 80 movies like this were really big. But when they first came out with whenever it was, the cell phones, what was that, like 8 years ago?
Well, like the
10?
iPhone? Or
Yeah, iPhone.
I don't know. I think that was like whatever early high school was, 2007 maybe?
Okay, so about 12 years.
2006.
12 years
idea.
ago.
It's probably-
So when we had that, think about how much those phones cost at that time. And to me, I mean, I think they're ridiculous, but it's not a phone, it's a computer. And what we're paying for is something that does way more than even my own computer, my laptop could do. I can call people through my laptop, but it's not portable, it's not easy, and this is extremely easy, transportable, you can carry it around. So what you're paying for is a convenience. You're paying for something that can do, the superpower strength of your laptop, but You know, it gives you access to everything in the world that you would want, even
Yeah.
the dark web. You know what that is?
Yes, I do know of the dark
Okay, just
web.
making sure.
Yeah, I know of that one.
Yeah, you don't want to go there.
No.
Go there. Yeah.
But yeah, they come out with all these amazing technologies, but of course we see it maybe 10, 20 years later because they're not immediately going to release that to the market. They're going to slowly say, okay, this is the first version of that, but it's not even close to what they already have. Like, they already have the roll-up screens, like, you know, and when are we going to see those? Like, when can I have it just
Oh, wait, you mean
completely-
like the keyboards?
No, like a television screen, like an
Oh.
80-inch television screen that's like that you could just roll up like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
way.
this was like, I think it was about 5 years ago. I think it was like 5, maybe it was 7 years ago, that they had some pens that you could set it up and it was in 3 angles. And one created a virtual keyboard, and then the other one was set up to be your monitor, and it was just like a hologram. So you could just sit here and blah, 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 and it was like, truly, it looked like 3 pins, and just the way you did it, and I went, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all of this really cool stuff that's out there. And so that's why I'm really excited about going to ITSEC, because those are the kind of things that I get to see. Remember, you guys were invited to go, just saying. So if you want to go, you need to tell me in advance, because there's always going to be somebody that can't go. But it is 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's truly... it's the science fiction stuff that you sit here and go, wow, they can do this. They have, these mannequins that they use in war situation for training, and they're like spurting blood, and it looks like real blood, and they're anatomically correct, everything that's on that table from a baby to adults. And then they had, an animal that looked like a collie, and its leg had been blown off. So, that was an animal that was used supposedly for like searching for bombs, but they have everything that you can imagine there. And it's just, that's where you go to see stuff. Well, I think, guys, we're like at the end of our time. We have 43 minutes. Time flies. This was a fun show.
Yes.
It was.
I don't know how, well, I just loved it. I got to be with some of my favorite people here tonight, so that's awesome. So can we have that little transition piece that Eli did?
Absolutely.
So we want to tell Q, thank you for letting us be in this great studio. Thank you, Valencia College, for building the studio. And just thank you for all of our listeners out there. I know that's like further down the road, but anyway, great atmosphere. We love being in the space. We've had a good time with the technology tonight, right? Everybody's
Yes.
Absolutely.
happy? Okay, so let's do our shout out. Sydney?
My shout out is to all the family I'm going to be seeing on Thanksgiving.
Happy
Hey,
Thanksgiving.
everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
And
Amanda?
shout out to all the viewers, and shout out to artificial intelligence. If it's looking at us right now. Who
It
knows?
is.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Well, it's through our phones. You guys know that.
Well, that's
it
true.
listens to every. Truly, it does. They are listening to every. They're not supposed
Because
to.
isn't Siri,
they-
Siri could be considered artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
right? Because she does stuff. You ask her.
You ask her, and she can find anything for you.
That's right.
So shout out to the devices. Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to the devices. I like that.
Okay, Darius.
Yes, of course. Shout out everyone in the room right now. Shout out the viewers, and yes, everyone have a blessed, safe Thanksgiving. And
Nice.
yeah, shout out the human race, because apparently we got some competition coming up. So shout out to us.
It's only as much as we want to give away.
Uh,
That power is always ours. We don't have to give it away. So my shout out goes to all of you guys here, to our listeners, to everybody on our team. I can tell that the software team is like working like crazy because they're communicating through Slack, and all of those posts are coming in. That's super cool. All of the marketing team. Gosh, can we name everybody? Let's do it real quick.
Marketing team.
Okay, so let's go through it all. That's you,
Mm-hmm.
Miranda, Giancarlo, Laura, Amanda,
Mm-hmm.
Sydney.
I think,
That's it.
yeah, that covers.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
me twice, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
well,
it.
there's 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then there is the software team. That's Joe and Dennis and Logan. And then we have our game team. That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's John and Alex and Tyler and Hannah and Melissa and Nicole and Philip, and I'm forgetting somebody, Sarah, and Breland, who's in Germany, and Steve.
Okay.
What about the video team? That's a big one.
Okay, so the video team.
That's a big one.
That's a big
Let's
one
name
right
those.
there.
Darius, name those video team people.
That guy, what's his
What was
name?
it?
The guy with the hair and he's
Darius,
always
I think.
Darius,
Yeah,
and the
that's
other
right.
guy with the mustache and
Me,
he's
Hernando.
Hernando.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, that's right. But I have a feeling we still forgot somebody. Oh, graphic designers. So, yep, graphic designers. So that's Ronnie and Teresa and Morgan and Luke and Brian and Caitlin. And then a special shout out to Emily Trosper, who wrote an article. And we put it out there, and she's sharing it like all over the place. So I love you, Emily. So I hope she's listening. And to all of the other interns that are with all of our other employers. Anyway, so thanks to all of you people and everybody else. So now, how can you contact us? Go to info@internpursuit.tech, and you can find the phone number there. Check out our cool website again. And listen to us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on, goodness, LinkedIn and YouTube. Thank you, Hernando. He set up YouTube, so it's all great. It's all highly organized. And then our podcast channels. Oh, my gosh, Sydney, podcast. What are all our podcast
They
channels?
are Podbean, iTunes, Spotify,
Stitcher.
Stitcher, probably not SoundCloud,
No. Google Play.
Google Play. I forget
And
about
hopefully iHeartRadio. We're still waiting for
Yes.
that one. So that's how you can find us. And you can close out our show. And thank you for listening to it.